Presiding Officer, First Minister, members of the Scottish Parliament, ladies and gentlemen. The Queen and I are so very pleased to be able to join you today in marking the 25th anniversary of the Scottish Parliament. This Parliament opened on the first day of July 1999, on the cusp of a new millennium. It marked a new dawn for Scotland, one filled with anticipation, optimism and hope. Alongside the late Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh, I listened in the Palace of Holyrood House that day with great interest as the then First Minister spoke of a new voice, of new dreams, of a new and renewed Scotland. It was an extraordinary occasion for all manner of reasons, not least the fact that it came almost 300 years after the Act of Union of the Westminster and Scottish Parliaments on the 1st of May 1707. It was a landmark in a long, rich and complex story which we have shared over many centuries. For those present on that day, 25 years ago, the new Parliament was a great and perhaps even a somewhat daunting prospect. The hopes of the thousands that lined the streets of Edinburgh and the great responsibility that accompanied them rested upon the shoulders of each newly elected member, 13 of whom still give such dedicated service today. From that day until this, through its work over a quarter of a century, this place has not just thrived, but in doing so, has borne witness to the enduring relationship between the Parliament, the Crown and the people of Scotland. The mace, which is placed before us, was a gift from my late mother on that day 25 years ago. On it are engraved the qualities to which we all aspire and that represent the very foundations of the relationship we share: wisdom, justice, compassion, integrity. In those intervening years, much has changed in our world, but those most Scottish of values have remained steadfast. We are often told that we live in an era of polarization and division. If that is so, then it is perhaps even more important, not less, that in the vital areas of representation, of political debate, of policy making and of discourse, these values, together with hope, civility and generosity of spirit, are never far from the heart of even the most difficult of issues. It seems to me that such an approach is why this Parliament has grown in its experience, in its ability to touch and to improve the lives of so many individuals and communities throughout this great land. These values and this approach have been championed consistently by the 6 presiding officers who have served their country faithfully and diligently. We are all, at the end of each day, united by our love of Scotland, because of its natural beauty, of course, but also because of its strength of character, based as it is on the extraordinary diversity of its peoples, whose range of ideas, skills, energy, passions, and frequently deeply held beliefs never cease to inspire me. From the Central Belt to the North Highlands, across the islands, in Ayrshire, in the borders, the cities, towns and villages, all the coastal communities, who, I wonder, could not fail to be moved by this complex Caledonian kaleidoscope. Speaking from a personal perspective, Scotland has always had a uniquely special place in the hearts of my family and myself. My beloved grandmother was proudly Scottish. My late mother especially treasured the time spent at Balmoral, and it was there, in the most beloved of places, where she chose to spend her final days. Back in July 1999, we heard Ian Crichton Smith's poem, The Beginning of a New Song. Let it be true to itself and to its origins, inventive, original, philosophical. Its institutions mirror its beauty. Then, without shame, we can esteem ourselves. That day was a turning point. Today is an important milestone. As we look ahead to the next quarter of a century and beyond, there remains much more to be done for Scotland, for the United Kingdom, and equally in addressing the challenges we all share as inhabitants of a planet whose climate is changing dangerously and whose biodiversity is being seriously depleted. Let this moment, therefore, be the beginning of the next chapter. The achievement of the past and the commitment shown in the present give us the soundest basis for confidence in the future. Presiding Officer, First Minister, members of the Scottish Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, I can only offer my most heartfelt appreciation of the public service you embody, together with every possible good wish on this special occasion and for the years to come.